Hello. What's up, Greg? Good to see you. How's it going, my friend? How is it going, my friend? It is so good to be back. I am pumped. So, as you guys can see, we're streaming on a different day than usual, and that's because we're doing two streams this week. Okay, we missed last week, and I'm just so stoked to be here. We're gonna do both days. So still expect Friday night, and today is kind of like a extra slash makeup stream from last week. I am doing really good, Greg. I have been feeling so good the past week. I have really been in touch with my dreams. I have been just feeling so clear inside, and I feel like I have so much to share, and I'm ready to create what's coming through, and I'm just so pumped to be able to talk to you guys today about something that I have really been diving deeper into in so many ways. And hello, Laura, how's it going? So good to see you. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling ready for everything, for life, for dreams to create. For those of you who are new here, I know that a few of you may have found me from a post that I made. A few of you joined the community the other day from a post I made in a group sharing my story on Facebook. And so if this is your first time seeing me live or seeing this on the replay, hello, what's up? My name is Haylee, and I am here to guide you to the life of your dreams using dreamwork. Really, what I want to chat with you guys about today is the power to create the life of your dreams. And that's kind of the post that I made in that group. And it was really about my story with lucid dreaming and the healing that I received from it, and kind of how I dove into lucid dreaming after that. And it really did transform my entire life. And now we're seeing science. I don't know if you guys, I have a couple videos I want to make on the science, like the scientific research coming out on lucid dreaming. I don't know if you guys saw not too long ago, they were able to communicate with a dreamer inside of the dream, which is how lucid dreaming was proven, right? Lucid dreaming was proven in the 70s, and it was through eye movements. They were able to signal a specific pattern of eye movements to signal to the researchers that they were in a dream and they were conscious. But this one went a little bit deeper. They're coming up with a dream communication that you can use while you're in the dream by moving specific facial movements. And as you guys know, when you're in dreaming, or at least some of you guys know, when you're in dreaming, or when you are dreaming or lucid dreaming, our physical body is in sleep paralysis, so we really can't move our muscles too much or anything. But there are little tiny movements, little muscle movements that can be made, and even little sounds that can be made, which maybe some of you are familiar with if you've ever been in sleep paralysis and we're a little bit scared and we're trying to wake up. There are ways you can harness that state, by the way, and make it peaceful. Use it as a very transitional, really powerful transitional state for lucid dreams and out-of-body experiences. But basically, they were able to use specific sounds and facial movements to signal to the researchers that they were awake within the dream. And I love that science is really starting to catch up on not only the power that we have within our consciousness, but specifically dreams, because for so long that we've been told that our dreams, they're just a dream, right? They don't really mean anything. They don't really have a purpose. And I feel like I'm living proof that that's completely wrong, because I shared this in the group, and some of you may know this, but I had really intense physical issues starting from the age of 14, from depression, anxiety. I had really chronic panic attacks, and it really took a toll on my physical body and my digestive system. I developed really intense ulcers, gastritis, IBS. So basically, it was not feeling good at all. I was throwing up blood every single day. I couldn't hold any jobs. And again, I had this it started at 14, but it went all the way 18, 19, and I reached a place where I couldn't even live. I couldn't even function. I didn't have friends. I was on 8 to 9 medications every single time I was recommended to another doctor and then recommended to someone else, and no one seemed to be able to help me. And every single person told me, This isn't something that you're able to get rid of. You're going to have this for the rest of your life. You just need to try to manage the pain and try to be as comfortable as possible. And there was some part of me that really couldn't accept that. And I want to tell you, your beliefs are extremely powerful. Your beliefs will create the world that you see in front of you. And this is really true because scientifically we have a subconscious filter called the reticular activating system, which really is a subconscious filter that we can program to see what we want to see in the world. So for example, right now, if I tell you to look for the color blue in your environment, I mean, I probably make it very easy because my favorite color is blue. As you can tell, everything I have basically is blue, it feels like. But as maybe you noticed, as soon as I said that, all of a sudden, all of the blue around you stood out. And it's not that there's all of a sudden more blue in your environment. It's because based on what you kind of programmed that subconscious filter to do in that moment, even unconsciously, it kind of pulled those things out for you to more easily see them. And I truly believe that I was doing that unconsciously when it came to my healing and trying to find a path for my healing, because I swear I took every single path that I could. I saw the best of the best doctors in the state, like truly the best doctors at the best. I think it was like University of Utah Hospital is like one of the best hospitals. Like people will fly out from other states to go to this hospital. And that was the last one that I went to before I told myself there has to be something else. There has to be something that I can do. There is a way. There's always a way. And that's something I swear I'm going to get tattooed on me one day. I always say there always is a way, because I truly believe if you believe that, it will be shown to you. I remember being referred to this hospital after years of a runaround. I'm telling you, I was like unable to function or even like leave the house at that point. I was on like FMLA at the jobs that I had. Like I literally could not function as a human being, let alone my anxiety and the shame that I had around it and the anger that I had around it, because I was, like, and no one could tell me even why or what I was experiencing. Everything that I learned was from the research I did myself. I remember going to a doctor and just telling them from what I looked into, it looks like I have gastritis, and they just took my word for it and prescribed me something for gastritis. I didn't even get that diagnosis until later through endoscopies and stuff. But as you could see, I just didn't feel like I was being listened to. And this, the hospital situation, going back to that, I remember waiting like 6 hours in the waiting room, finally getting into the doctor. I mean, this was the place everyone was like, all right, you need help. This is this is our last bet. This is the best hospital we can get you in. Like, you're going to be taken care of. And they talked to me for about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, and then told me it doesn't seem like there's not too much we can do for you, but we can give you some like pain medication or like Tylenol. I broke down. I started crying, and I was like, I don't want your fucking Tylenol. I just want to feel better. Like, like all of these people who were apparently experts that promised me that they could at least look into what I was experiencing. I literally felt every single path that I went down was a dead end. Now, this is where it gets awesome, guys. That night, that was like the most defeated I ever felt. And this is when I like called out to something greater, called out to the universe. There has to be a way. Please show me the way. Show me to my healing. Show me. I just want my life back. And I'm a very ambitious person. I've always been connected to dreams. I've always known there's so much that I want to do with dreams, but I didn't know that dreams were calling me more than I was calling dreams to me. I didn't know that I was going to be taking this specific path with dreaming. But that night, I just fell to the floor, and I was literally just calling for anything, any direction. Less than a week later, it's hard to remember the exact amount of days after that, but it was very quickly after that. I had a dream. I had a dream where I was walking down this street. And now that I think about it, it really looks like Washington, where I manifested moving now. But this was before I even knew I wanted to go to Washington. So I'm just making that connection now. It literally looked like where I am now. Wow, that's really interesting. But it was a beautiful, beautiful day, blue sky. I remember how tall the trees were, and one of the most vivid things of this lucid dream was that I could hear all of the leaves from the wind in the trees. I just look up and I just see the dappled sunlight glistening through the trees. I hear the rustling of the trees. And I remember that's like the moment I got lucid, when I was walking down the street by myself. And I think looking up got me lucid. And right after I became lucid, like this big white truck pulls across the street and gets out and this guy with long hair gets out, and he walks over to me. He's like, "Hey," and I just say hello, and he's like, "I'm here to help you heal your stomach like you asked for." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I didn't know how, like, what the dream was going to show me. And you think I was in a position to like be like, I'm okay. No, I was like, okay. And I just followed exactly where he was going. He said, "I'm here to help you heal your stomach like you asked for." I said, okay. And we just started walking down the street and just having small talk. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I remember it was very slow. It was all happening so realistically. I remember every step I was taking, and him just asking how I'm feeling, and, "Oh, it's a beautiful day, isn't it?" And he said, "All right, there's a healing pool of water." Now I know this sounds far out, and that's what makes this awesome, is that it actually worked. He said, "There's a healing pool of water down here at one of these houses. We're just going to go into the back, and that's where you're going to experience your healing." Sounds like a big order. I know. Sounds crazy. I know. And that's why I'm literally obsessed with this story. Hello, Nico. How's it going? So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So we got to this house. It's like a pretty nice house. And we just walk in. And no one seems to be in the house. And we go into the backyard, and there's this family barbecuing in the backyard, and we go out the back door, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're so welcoming. They don't even care that we just walked through the house. They don't even care at all. They offered me an otter pop. I remember that. They offered me an otter pop, and to go get one in just right through the door in the fridge. And I remember being like, okay, going in, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm dreaming. I can't believe I'm dreaming." And I literally go into the freezer, grab an otter pop, and I'm still like, what the heck? What is going on? And I remember tasting that otter pop for the first time. And this is the first time in a lucid dream I like engaged with my senses in this way. And I'm telling you, this is one amazing thing that's cool about the lucid dream state, is it is not limited to your physical body, of like what your physical body can sense. Like, our sense of touch is limited to what our human body's sensitivity can feel, right? Same with our eyesight and our sound. But in the lucid dream, you are experiencing this in consciousness, which means it's uncapped sensory information. It is like the most incredible experience ever. And I just remember that being like the most vivid otter pop I ever had. And shortly after, I was just sitting back out there talking with them for a sec, and I get in. It's like this little trough. It looks like not a full swimming pool, but kind of like a silver trough type thing. And I remember getting in, and obviously troughs are pretty small, so I wasn't like swimming in it. I was kind of like covering my shoulders and just kind of like sitting in this little pool. And as soon as I get in, one of the things I remember is just how vivid the water feels. Again, like the temperature of the water, seeing the sun glistening on the water was like something really powerful that I remember. And then intuitively, like, I didn't even know what I should be doing in order to receive the relief that I was apparently going to receive. But I just remember putting my hands on my stomach and just saying, "Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing." And keep in mind, I've been a spiritual person basically as long as I remember. I've always believed in magic. I've always been interested in other realms and dreams, even when I was a kid. And I mean, even when it comes to like The Secret and stuff like that, I was exposed to that extremely young. And so I always had this idea that there's more than I can see, and there's a whole universe out there that I can't see. I always just had this interesting perspective. And I think that's one reason why I was able just to kind of like intuitively, I don't know, connect what I was supposed to do in that moment. But I just put my hands on my belly and I just affirmed it. I already had my healing. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. And I remember the sun, like the sunbeams connected to my hands. And I just felt this like warmth from the sun, just like it was literally like it was creating like an electric current from the sun to my belly, from my hands. And it was so powerful that I just sat there until the dream just started shaking and it eventually faded away. And I don't know, I just thought this was kind of like a cool dream, you know, maybe it was symbolism for something. I didn't think much of it until I actually woke up. I sat up in bed, I pulled off my sleeping mask, and I was like, whoa. And that's all I said. I was just like, whoa. And I'm telling you, it was the most vivid experience I've ever had in my whole life. And I sat up. And remember, my alarm clock every single day was this feeling of like open gashes inside my stomach and like rubbing alcohol poured on it or something. I'm like, if you can imagine like the sharpest, most stingiest, gnawing, excruciating pain, that's what I felt every single day. And if you're someone who has suffered with like ulcers or gastritis or anything, you get how like it hurts so bad you feel like you have to put pressure on it and like like seriously just completely freeze. It's so much pain I can't even describe to you. And I mean, it makes like our digestive system, it's our second brain. That's where we hold so much information. We hold memories, experiences, emotion, you know, and I truly believe all of this was created from this intense like panic and anxiety. Again, I didn't feel safe in my childhood. I had a lot of fucking trauma that it's taken me basically until now to work through, you know, like it's been a long process and I can't imagine how much my body went through to keep me going, I'm telling you. And I just remember sitting up in bed, saying whoa, and then being absolutely mind blown that my alarm clock was waking out of the lucid dream that day. It wasn't from pain. And I sat there and I said, oh my God, there's something to this. Even if it was relief for 5 seconds, that is amazing. And so I told myself, okay, I'm gonna play a game. Like, I'm just gonna not take my medication today, at least for most of the day, you know, just so I can see like what my body does after this dream wears off or something. I don't know. I didn't know what was supposed to happen. And I never took them again. Now, those medications that I took, there was like some acid blockers, there was like an anxiety medication I was on. And again, don't stop taking any medications like without talking to your doctor, or if it's something that you're choosing to take and it's not necessary, of course, put your health first. I'm not giving any medical advice or anything like that. I'm just sharing my story. But I was so interested in why I was feeling the way that I was after a dream, you know? So I just decided to see how long I could feel okay, even just okay, without taking those medications. And I'm telling you, the next day, I felt a little bit of discomfort, but I still didn't wake up with that pain. And I continued to work with my dreams from that point on. So I really do dedicate a lot of it. Like that dream was the initiation to my healing and my awakening in a lot of ways with what is possible, but it also got me to wake up with more purpose and to know that there was something so much more than I ever experienced before. And ever since then, I have been obsessed with dreams, consciousness, the fact that we can even affirm a healing is already there and be able to convince ourselves that it's true and experience that. That's kind of what I want to talk to you guys today. I truly want to set up the conversation for you to know that truly anything is possible. And there's so many ways that it can come through. It's not even just through dreaming. One reason why I want to bring up dreaming today is because everybody dreams. And so this is a a free opportunity for all of us to explore our healing, for all of us to explore our manifestations, our desires. And what's amazing about the healing is that within the dream, I think one reason why it worked the way that it did is because when we affirm something that we want that isn't in our current moment and we affirm it while we're awake, there's resistance because we have a conscious mind, right? We have an ego, we have a conscious mind who is observing our experience and likes to talk back to us. And also, there's so many limiting beliefs that we have that are stored within the subconscious mind, but that the conscious mind plays out, that it's going to take a lot longer. I feel like if we're just working in the conscious state on this, except we should be working on our manifestations, our healings in all states. But I think one reason why it works is because when we are lucid dreaming, a majority of our conscious mind is turned off. Even though we are conscious within the lucid dream, our prefrontal cortex is activated. The conscious mind that rejects information easily is much more softened. And when we are within the lucid dream state, we are in the territory of our subconscious mind. And so whatever we affirm within that state, whatever we believe within that state, whatever we become within that state is going straight to our subconscious mind. And so I want to give you something really easy that you can do within your next lucid dream. Every moment counts within your lucid dream, okay? And I just want you to see what happens when you do this. Let's say that it doesn't matter what you're wanting to manifest, whether you're wanting better health, whether you're wanting to attract a relationship, whether you're wanting to attract a better job, more money. Let's say you have a lucid dream that lasts 5 seconds. I want you to use that lucid dream to speak out your affirmations out loud and to feel it as much as possible, even if the lucid dream ends right after. That's what I did the following lucid dreams after that healing. Any lucid dreaming opportunity I had, I'm telling you, for like the next year, I did the exact same thing. Even if it was like a lucid dream again that lasted like 10 seconds, I would get into the dream, put my hands on my stomach, thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing. And then sometimes that's all that I had time for before the lucid dream ended. But I'm telling you, I think that's also like the upkeep of it. That was like my little dreaming upkeep. Okay, I felt fucking awesome after that initial dream. But I was scared for all of what I experienced to come back, because I'm telling you, like, I was fired from like every job that I had because of my health. It took me forever to even get like the FMLA thing, like the approved leave or whatever, which was a pain in the ass anyway. Everything, it just made everything so hard, let alone trying to eat, trying to drink anything. God forbid if you stressed about anything. Holy, that is like that. I think that's why all of that was created anyways, you know, the gastritis, ulcers, all that, because I was in a state of survival constantly. I was in a state of panic. And so once I finally started to break that like deep programming within that lucid dream, that one lucid dream that really showed me what is possible for all of us, it gave me the momentum to believe that that is what is possible for all of us over and over again, time and time again, if we just learn how to access these states, if we just learn how to believe and to use our consciousness to create the, like, being in the end of where we want to be. That's what I did with my healing. And every single night too, like outside of the lucid dreams I had where I would affirm that healing, I just did what worked in that first lucid dream, because I was in the healing pool of water and I had my hands on my stomach and I was affirming the healing and how the sun connected to my hands, and I just felt this like crazy electricity within the dream, and how I woke up and I felt something on a molecular level change. I started to play around with that formula in different ways. And so even outside of the lucid dream, like going to bed, in the end of my desire, which now, after researching and reading so many different books, Neville Goddard, Wallace Wattles, Think and Grow Rich, Rhonda Burns, it's like they're all saying the same thing. Live in the end of your desire. Assume your desire in consciousness first. And that is the key to basically tricking our brain and almost quantum jumping from the reality you're in into the end where you have your desire. It's like before bed every single night, I would fall asleep as if I was going to bed where I just received my healing. Like, when you're like falling asleep and then you're just kind of like looking back at your day and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened today and this happened. Oh my God. I would do that as if I already received every single thing that I wanted. And I was looking back on how crazy it was that now I'm going to bed actually feeling amazing and feeling healed, and I have energy, and I can hang out with friends, and I actually feel like I have my life back, I felt it. I started to feel it every single day. And I'm telling you, sleep states are powerful because your conscious mind is not going to reject these new infusions you're making into your beliefs, into your consciousness. It is so much easier to do this work when you're either dreaming, when you're falling asleep right after you woke up, or in meditation. It really does have to do with the brainwaves you're in and allowing your subconscious mind to be more in the forefront, opposed to the super hyperactive beta brainwave conscious mind that is looking at everything in the physical reality, rejecting everything, and trying to predict the past and the future. When you're assuming the state of your desire, you don't think in the past or the future. Time doesn't exist. And when we're thinking about the planes of consciousness, like we're in the physical plane right now, right? Then there's the mental plane. Then there's the spiritual plane. In the spiritual plane, you already have every single thing that you desire. There is no separation between what you are and what you desire, who you are and what you desire. It is one, which is why if we are affirming that we are healing, we will stay in the present moment of being healing, not being healed. Because there's no time, we can't use time within our manifestations or within our healing. For example, if I'm like, I am healing, you are affirming that you aren't healed in a way. You see how it's like the littlest shifts in how you perceive time within your manifestations really does make the biggest difference. So living in the end of your desires, because that's how it is in the spiritual plane. Now, the physical plane is the results of what is happening on the mental plane, right? Like this is just a very dense reality where we can't make change here in energetic planes. We have to go to the mental plane to do it. So we're in the physical. We work on the mental plane to match what is true in the spiritual plane, which it's all oneness. Every single thing that you desire, guess what? It's not you that desires it. It's meant to be fulfilled through you, which is why you feel so strongly about it. Your emotional state is your guidance system, okay? Your emotional state is guiding you to what is for you and helping you correct maybe what is not for you that you're ready to release. And so when we are working with our desires, it's all in the mental plane. It really all is in the mental plane, because the actions that you take in the physical plane anyway, now again, law of attraction, there is some action that needs to be taken, but it's not in the way that you think. It's in the way that you behave. That's your work within the physical realm. But when we truly become one with our desires in the mental realm, that's where we have to get before we become one with those spiritual desires that we have. We have to do that work on the mental plane. And so I'm telling you, act like you are performing for an Oscar, okay? I'm telling you, be as delulu in your desires as you want to. I'm telling you, get so excited about it. Dance around your house. Bring yourself to tears from gratitude. And I'm telling you, if you're having a difficult time with shifting your emotional state, maybe from like fear or worry, doubt, the way to do that, before you even visualize, don't visualize while you are in a lower emotional or mental state, because you're much more powerful when you are in your natural energy flow. And we can get there by shifting to gratitude. Now, gratitude is literally the embodiment of receiving. Think about how good it feels to be in the state of receiving. Now, when it comes to gratitude, I recommend going down to like as base level as you can go, like, and then work up from there. Because if you think there's nothing to be grateful for, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the mental plane first. Because the fact that you woke up today, the fact that your heart is beating without you having to tell it, the fact that you are alive right now, you are learning, you are growing, the fact that you have dreams, the fact that you have people that love you. When we can open our heart and allow gratitude to break us open, we become open. We become open to receive. Now, the only reason that we all don't feel super aligned to everything that we desire already is because of the resistance that we have to it, where maybe it has a lot of importance, maybe there's a time crunch, maybe we don't believe it's possible. All of these things are representations of resistance. And so one way to remove the resistance is to work on your emotional state. And again, you can do that through gratitude. Creating some sort of daily practice that allows you to shift your emotional state so then you can do your mental work and actually become the embodiment of what you desire is all of the work. If you guys have heard of Neville Goddard's book, The Feeling is the Secret, it's the secret. It's the secret. First, you got to know what you want. You got to ask for it. You got to be clear on what you desire, right? Because if we're not clear on it, we don't even know what we're visualizing. We don't even know what we're embodying. We don't even know what feeling is attached to that. So that is the very first thing, is asking, is that clarity on what you're calling in. The next thing is working on the belief for that. Now, again, if you are in a place where you're not believing it, number one, shifting to gratitude will help you change your emotional state, but also I recommend learning all that you can about the limitlessness of the universe. Like, if you go deep enough, you will be broken open and you will know that everything is possible. The more that I started to like learn about and even just hear people's stories, like if you guys follow Rhonda Byrne's, she's the one who wrote The Secret, and her story is so amazing, and she has so many books out, and that The Secret changed millions and millions and millions of people's lives. And the reason, number one, I think that it did is because she presented it in a way where everybody can start from there. It's not like some super deep spiritual teachings that only some people resonate with. She was able to communicate with people from where they were at to allow them to know that there is so much greater than what we have experienced or what we have ever seen or what we have ever felt before. And when we step into alignment to what's meant for us, you know, she wrote that book in 2 weeks. She wrote that in 2 weeks. And that is what happens when you truly are in alignment with what you desire in feeling. Once you can really get comfortable with the feeling, again, that's all that it is, babe. Like the mental plane is literally the energetic plane. That's where your work is. And once you start to embody your desires on the energetic plane, your actions in the physical plane naturally change. You don't have to do anything. There's no resistance to it. You wake up in the morning super, super excited to create, or you just barely got an idea that you just cannot even hold in your mind anymore. It's like something so much deeper and bigger than you is working through you. It doesn't feel like work. It's supposed to feel easy. So let it feel easy in consciousness and believe that it can be easy. The reason why I share my physical healing story so many times is because, number one, that's the story that created my entire business, basically. After that experience, I was like, I have to tell people. I have to tell people what is possible. And then after that, I learned about other people's stories. And there's tons of people within the lucid dreaming community who are scientific researchers, or they are breaking the limitations on what it means to practice dream work. Like even Charlie Morley, if you guys know him, he doesn't wear glasses anymore. He healed his eyesight within a lucid dream, a very similar experience that I learned after my healing. And another cool thing, he's a lucid dreamer in the UK. He's a lucid dream teacher in the UK. I'm over here in the US, and we have the exact same birthday. And we're both a double Leo. And I was like, wow, we're like reflections of each other on the other side of the world. And we have a very similar healing story. I think that's so cool. But I don't think that there's any coincidences ever. And I think that you're hearing this also at probably the perfect time that you're meant to hear it. Now, I truly believe, again, every single thing is possible. Time is collapsible, dude. You could think, like, if you could have this huge desire that you're trying to call in a short amount of time, and if you had absolutely no resistance, like I'm talking absolutely no resistance, by universal law, it will make its way to you. The only reason it takes time for us is because we're working through our own beliefs or resistance about what is possible. And so that's why all of the work is in the mental plane. And again, it's so cool. Like, you can truly start to convince your brain that things are different. Regardless of anything changing on the outside, you changing in your internal state changes everything. I'm sure you or someone you know, probably every single one of us actually, stresses about money or security or finances or taxes or paying the IRS on time or whatever it is at some point in our life, right? Like, stressing about life circumstances can be inevitable. That's just part of being a human being, right? Is having these specific responsibilities. But even without your circumstances changing and you feeling like you don't have enough money to pay things off, just by shifting back to gratitude and looking at the abundance of things you do have, that subconscious filter, the reticular activating system, will now activate, because now you are looking for the abundant things that you have in your life. Instead of looking for lack, you are now looking and counting the abundant things that are surrounding you. And now you've trained the subconscious filter to look for that, and it will start to show up everywhere. Even yesterday, this was so funny. I was doing this practice about seeing more abundance everywhere that I look. And I took this path a million times with Chance. But we were driving down the street, and I look to the side of the road and I see money trees. Not one or two money trees. They're lining the road. I saw a money tree yesterday that was like as big as a pine tree. I still haven't looked it up. I meant to look it up to see, like, is this common? What? Because I literally have never seen a money tree as tall as a pine tree. And I'm telling you, we were driving down the street yesterday, and every time I turned my head, there was a money tree. And it showed me an abundance of the specific symbolic type of tree that I programmed myself to see. And I found coins on the ground. I found little beautiful synchronicities in nature. I was seeing hearts in the sky. And I mean, abundance comes in so many forms. And that's one thing you want to do, is not limit what type of abundance you want to see. Be so open that every single thing in life moves you. That's where we want to get to. That's really what we want to get to. We don't really care about what's in the physical too much. We really care about how we feel, how it makes us feel. And the only reason things make us feel the way that they feel is because of our programs around them, our samskaras, our wounds, our beliefs, our identity, our meanings that we give things, right? And once we start to change our identity of who we think we are, change the meanings that we give things, all of a sudden we start to see and experience things differently and feel things differently. Whoever said money doesn't grow on trees is an idiot, right? I mean, come on. There really is so much proof that that's true. And it's true. And that's a perfect example, by the way, of these little beliefs that are running our life that we have consciously sometimes no idea are running our life. And this is why I recommend, like, especially if you feel shame or you feel guilt or you feel anger or you just feel resistance in specific areas of your life, I just want you to ask, what am I making this mean about me? Because when I started asking myself that, I discovered I was really hard on myself in every way, basically, especially like work too. Like we tie our meaning into like how much work we can produce or how many friends we have or how many likes something gets or whatever it is, and we don't even realize that like our inner child is absorbing that. Like it might just seem like a thought to us, but it is controlling every single area of your life. Every time you tell yourself you should do something, I want you to look at that a little bit closer. Do you actually, like, is it an actually should? Like, you should do that? Or is that just something you're telling yourself you have to happen in order to be worthy or to be loved or to be successful, you know? And once I started questioning the mind, I was, oh, God, this is such a big topic. What I'd recommend doing, if you want to dive deeper in this, again, I talk about him all the time, but Michael Singer, the author of The Untethered Soul, he's so amazing at helping us realize like the neurosis of the mind, because we are not the mind. We are the one who's witnessing the mind. The mind is a thought generator that is based off all of our past experiences, our thoughts, our pain, our dislikes. So let's say like someone, you like talk to someone out in the world, you like open a door for someone or something and you're like, hey, how's it going? And they just look at you and walk through the door and don't say anything. Watch what happens. Watch what happens in your mind. This is the energy I'm talking about. That discomfort. Oh my God, I can't believe she didn't look at me. She didn't even smile. Oh my God, I bet this is that has nothing to do with you. But the mind makes it mean something about you and it makes you suffer. Imagine if we could go through life as life was happening and letting things flow through us as we went. We wouldn't be storing all of these. He calls them samskaras. It's basically like deep wounds or traumas or like false meanings that we allow to give us suffering. Like the way to remove those is to stop putting more on there. You know, the work gets easier when we don't keep putting extra work on for us to work through. And so one thing that I really love that he talks about is anytime you notice discomfort from the mind or like a really overactive mind, just kind of step behind it and watch it, and it starts to get really quiet. And did you know basically everything it says is not true? And did you know that you actually have the willpower and the freedom to question it? Oh my God, this was huge, especially if you experience false meanings from your brain, like, oh, I have to do this or else I'm a bad friend, or I have to do this or else I'm not successful, or I have to do this. Like a lot of the time this comes as a people pleaser wound. If you're someone who has like a people pleaser wound, you think, oh, I have to do all these things from people or else I'm not a good person. So as you can see, there's these unconscious labels and meanings that we give things that we don't even realize until we actually start witnessing the mind, which is why it's so important to not be in the mind, but to witness the mind, because we can't change the mind in the mind. We can witness it and then be awoken by what's actually happening once we're watching the dialogue that's going on. But next time your mind tells you something false like that, I just want you to question, says who? And actually get it to answer you. I want you to actually get it to answer. What is the evidence that this is true? What is the evidence that I'm not a good friend? And I want you to watch what happens, because it gets quiet. And again, I really want you to get it to answer you. Like, don't just ask the question and then forget about it, because you will notice that a lot of the things that you have made yourself believe, you don't even have a reason why that is true. A lot of these things are things that we have heard or things that we have embodied at some point of our life. And what's beautiful about every single day is every single time you have a thought, it is an opportunity to let go even more, or to literally rewire it. And another beautiful thing is like, kind of like the situation we just talked about. Like if you opened a door for somebody and they didn't really say anything and you took it personally, oh, they're probably not a good person anyways, or this or this, like whatever our mind says. What if you completely did the opposite of what your mind was saying and sent love to that person, or came up with a new story of what could be true? That's true. They could not like me, or they could have just gotten the hardest news in their entire life. They need so much love right now. That could be true. They may really not like me, or that's what you want to do. You want to really point out the story the brain's telling you, or this could be true. Or just ask it an open-ended question. What is the evidence that this is true? Just play with it. Challenge your own mind. And what you're going to realize is it is your lower mind communicating with your higher mind. Your higher mind is training your lower mind, or, like really start to see that separation. You can even give your ego a name if you want. That way, anytime it comes up or that mind comes up, you can consciously communicate it and be like, Barbara, I appreciate it, but that is not true. Or again, leave the last thought that you have something that you want to believe. Don't let your mind tell you how you're going to think or feel about anybody or yourself or the world. You get to choose. And it really starts to rewire itself when you leave it on the thought that you desire. And again, everything is so connected, because this is a little coaching model that I talk about a lot in my coaching, and that I also learned from my life coach a while ago. But our circumstances create thoughts, right? That's inevitable. If we're alive, we're going to have thoughts. So the circumstances that we experience create thoughts. And depending on what thoughts we are thinking, that determines what feelings we have. So our feelings that we feel every single day are directly connected to the thoughts that you are thinking. Now, whatever we're feeling, not only is it stemming from the thoughts we're thinking, but now our feeling determines our actions, the actual behavior that we have. And of course, that's the one thing that we have control over, right? In the physical plane is our own behavior. And so that behavior that we now embody, regardless if it's from that higher mind or that lower mind, that's now what's getting us our results. So as you can see, it's almost like the thoughts we are thinking are creating our results. Because the circumstances, you can't change them in the way that you think. You have to go to the thoughts, because the thoughts about your circumstances, that's where the meanings are come from. That's where the meaning is coming from. That's where the suffering is coming from, or that is where the freedom is coming from. So depending on what reality of yourself you want to embody, it will literally change every single part of who you are, how you think, how you feel, how you act, and the experiences that you have. Not even, I would say the experiences you have, but also the way that you see them. And I'm telling you, once you start to believe, like if you could believe that any way of seeing reality, any way of seeing yourself was possible, like what would you choose? If you were not even born yet on planet Earth, and you got to design your human like a Sims character, think of it like that. How would you want this human being to think about themselves? How would you want them to see reality? Like, what beliefs would you want them to have about the world? Now, again, pretend like you are creating a Sims character. You're not even dropped down to planet Earth yet. You are designing your avatar. That's where I want you to create from, because that is true. Like every single thing that you can even imagine is possible, and you want to know why? because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It literally can't. Scientifically, it cannot. So if you are even thinking of something as a possibility, it already exists. You didn't come up with it. You tapped into it. It's kind of like Wi-Fi, electricity. People didn't invent those things, right? They were always possible. They were always there. They were always waiting to be discovered. Someone just tapped into the idea. So I want you to see your life right now with the freedom, the true creative freedom that you feel when we're talking about creating your avatar from the ground up. Truly see yourself in this moment as that, because I promise you, you are so magical. And the only reason that we are in this exact moment and seeing what we see in this exact moment is from our past set of thinking, feeling, and behavior. It's all down that same line. Every single day, you have an opportunity to explore that higher mind. And again, write this shit on paper, dude. Like, I love to write. I get so many ideas, or like if I'm listening to a talk and they like say something really good, I'm like, oh shit, that's good. I got to put that on my wall, or oh my God, I got to put that in a Google document, or oh my God, I got to write that in a journal, because I want to be able to see these things every day. I want to be able to remind myself of these every day. And if I hear something that shifts me, why would I not use that every single day to continue shifting me? This is how we break down these negative programs that we have, is by giving something higher equal airtime or more. The only reason our negative thoughts and our beliefs are so powerful is because they've been wired in for so long. We give them so much airtime, right? Think about how much time you spend thinking about the things that you don't want, or feeling worried that you're not going to get what you want, or feeling inadequate, or like think about how much airtime that is getting. Now, awareness is really key, because once you start becoming aware, you can be aware that you're aware and watch these programs play out without necessarily being involved in them, and be like, okay, great. Now that you've expressed yourself, brain, this is the new way of thinking. This is the new way of feeling. And I'm telling you, it will feel like you're battling with a little kid at first, because you kind of are. You're like battling with the scared inner child inside. So I want you to know it gets easier every single day. Like, that voice is loud, right? Sometimes that voice can be so loud. Make your voice louder. Make your higher mind louder. You are going to relentlessly infuse your mind with infinite possibilities, and holding in your mind the reality of being one with every single thing that you desire. Don't imagine it coming in. Imagine it with you, you celebrating it. For example, let's say that you're trying to attract a new job. I want you to imagine the exact way that you want that job to feel. I want you to already see yourself being celebrated by all of the people around you. Think about the first people that you would tell if you got this job or you got this big break that you're waiting for. I want you to be in the end of your desires. I want you to act like you are performing for an Oscar, because guess what? That is the way to transcend your physical reality into the mental plane. And once you create alignment within the mental plane, you experience your oneness on the spiritual plane. And then that physical plane is in alignment with your mental and spiritual. Again, this physical plane is just the results plane. So we don't do work in the results plane, really. We manage our behavior in the results plane, so we don't continue to play out negative programs, right? But we're kind of using this physical reality as feedback. It's really just a reality of feedback is what it is. And so transcend the physical by knowing that every single thing is energy. You can only see 1% of your physical and spirit experience. You can only see visible light, which is literally less than 1% of your physical experience. So this already shows you that your mind can't be correct, because it's not basing its thoughts or ideas or beliefs off actual facts of what is happening. Okay, let me get to some questions. Hello, guys. Hello. I'm going to try to get as many comments as I can. I'm just going to kind of skim through some really quick. Let's see. YouTube channel and found it by looking up Haylee Lucid Dreaming. Really? What the hell? That is so funny. And no shit, you're alive, and what you've been speaking on is exactly what I needed to hear right now. Joseph, wow, that is so cool. There is no coincidences. That is so funny. What's crazy is that I used to listen to you regularly back in the day. I changed YouTube accounts and became engaged with other content 10 minutes after you started streaming. That is so funny. Well, welcome back. Good to see you. Okay, Tiffany, I see your question. Let me see. One question I have, do you have to act like you have what you want in front of other people? Because I'm worried people's responses would bring negative energy, like if they see me acting out like I'm living in the end. Does that make sense? Yeah, so what you can do, it's not like you have to have these conversations with people about like this new life that you're embodying, because it's so energetic. You basically are holding yourself like it's already happened. And let's say you are in conversations with people, right? The only thing that you want to manage with like communicating with other people is that you aren't bringing yourself back to your lower mind's beliefs when you're talking, like complaining about certain circumstances with people and being in the same energy as maybe you felt in the past. Like it's really, you're just managing how you behave, how you feel inside, and how you hold yourself. It's almost truly like the energetic embodiment of having what you desire. And again, it's great that it's mostly on the mental plane because no one else even has to know what's happening. Because again, it is mostly just in how you're thinking and how you're feeling and your behavior and how you hold yourself. And again, if people ask like how things are going and stuff like that, there are ways to still honor that higher mind without necessarily bringing your mind back to the reality of what you're trying to shift out of, if that makes sense. Like even when it comes to abundance is truly a feeling. It's like an embodiment. Abundance has nothing to do with like money or anything like that. Money is on the frequency of abundance. That's totally true. And money is a result of being on the frequency of abundance. But the abundance frequency in itself is really an energy of feeling whole and complete as you are, and knowing that there is more than enough to go around for everybody, and that you will always be guided to what is meant for you in divine timing, and truly believing that absolute magic can happen in any moment. That's the secret sauce. That is the secret sauce. Joseph, well, thank you so much for being here. I truly don't believe I don't believe there's any coincidences. So if you guys are hearing this, I truly believe that there's something in this for you right now. And again, I really do want to stress this. It is this exact formula to create alignment with all of your desires in the physical plane. Thinking, feeling, and behaving in coherence. You want to match those three up so that they make sense in that same exact reality. So what I mean by this, if you are embodying the energy of being abundant or having the new job that you desire, and you start to practice abundance, right? And you start to feel abundant, and you're writing out all the thoughts that you're going to turn into beliefs, and you're doing all the work, but then your actions contradict that abundant mindset. You can see that the behavior piece isn't in coherence with the thinking and the feeling, if that makes sense. So our work is the thinking, feeling, and behavior being all in coherence with each other, so that all three of those things make sense in that one reality that we're trying to get to. Now, this is the fun part. This is where we get to map out the fucking life of our dreams, okay? Now, you can do this however you want. I have tons of notebooks. I love to write, but I love to write so much that I don't know if I have enough notebooks to just write everything down. So I've been switching it up, okay? I have a little Google sheet that I made of all of the desires that I could think of having, but I write it out as if it's already happened. So whatever I'm creating, I write it out as I have or I am. And when I read it, I truly embody the feeling as if like, what if that actually happened right now? Like, what is the first thing that I would do? What are the exact feelings I would feel? You basically want to map out what that desired reality is, because that reality, like I told you, already exists. You don't choose what you desire. I hope you know that. You're not choosing what you desire. It is calling you. That is why you feel connected to it. Your emotional state is a guidance system. It is guiding you to what is meant for you. And again, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So if you think about something that you desire, but then don't think that you're capable of it, or don't think that you're meant for it, guess what? It came in through your consciousness, love. It came in through your consciousness, and it lit up your guidance system, telling you that it is meant for you. The universe uses you to fulfill its desires. It's not even your desires. They feel like your desires because feeling is everything. Feeling is everything. And so when something feels true to us, that is our truth, right? So know that this desire is beyond your human. You are just the vessel fulfilling this desire. And if you feel emotionally connected to it, it's because you are the perfect soul that is aligned to fulfill that thing. And so even just the thought of having that, like even just the fact that you had that idea come in, you had that aligned thought come in, you have that abundant feeling come in attached to that thought, that shows you that it is calling you to rise. That is your mission on earth, is to rise to that desire. And that's why the work feels so hard sometimes. It's because you don't need to do anything for that desire. It's already there waiting for you, but it's waiting for you to, again, mentally, physical plane, mentally, spiritually, it's waiting for you to mentally be one with your desires like you are on the spiritual plane. And that's how you transcend to that spiritual plane. Again, the physical plane is very dense. We can't change things on the physical plane like we can in the mental plane. It's the results plane, right? So we have to transcend our physical results and truly embody the oneness with our desire in the mental plane. And that's how we experience it next and I'm telling you, shit will happen so fast, you will wonder how you didn't see it the whole time. I'm telling you, when I was manifesting Washington last year, oh my God, I want to tell you the story. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I wanted to get out of my apartment so bad. Me and my boyfriend Chance were there. Like, we've been together for 10 years and we were there with our dog, and we just so grew out of it. It was just, and you could tell when you're like kind of outgrowing your physical reality, because you just start to feel resistance. So trust that resistance, that it's pushing you to greater, because if you were comfortable, you wouldn't move. And the universe knows that. If we're too comfortable, we will not rise to who we are meant to become and what we are meant to be fulfill. So that discomfort, it's meant to shake you and break you open. It's meant to help you rise. It's there to help you get comfortable moving. It's like when you get out of the hot shower and it's super cold. It's uncomfortable, but that cold is what gets you to move and actually get dressed and get warm and take care of yourself. It's those moments that are catalysts for those bigger moments that are coming in. Does that make sense? The universe is the author and we are the pens that the universe uses to write these stories. Absolutely. So know that it is a desire beyond you. Okay, so I almost lost my train of thought with Washington. And I love that. Oh my God, I want to write that down, Tiffany. That's so good. Add that to my wall. But I wanted to be out of Utah so bad. We just totally outgrew the place. And once we found Washington, we knew that's where we were supposed to go. It took me a while to believe that it was possible for me to get here. That's where a lot of the work was for me, is how am I going to get here? Oh my God, I don't even have any money. Like, how is that even going to happen? Oh my gosh, what about the housing market? That doesn't even make sense. Oh my God, how am I even going to find something cheaper than the place that I'm already in? This is the lower mind, by the way. All of these thoughts, trying to figure out how to get things to change in the physical plane, the spiritual self doesn't think on the physical plane. So if you can see yourself worrying and doubting and trying to figure things out on the physical plane, you know you're in the lower mind. Because the lower mind is the only part of you that believes it can change circumstances on the physical plane. The real you, the spiritual you, knows that it comes from embodiment. It comes from consciousness. And so, again, it took me a while to let go of these fears of how it was going to happen. It doesn't even make sense, but like, it doesn't even make sense to the human mind of how the spiritual realm works. But I realized that in order for me to truly work on embodying this, I had to suspend all disbelief and just practice getting to know that version of myself. Now, this is where it gets fun, guys. This is literally where it gets fun. That version of you already exists, okay? Because time doesn't exist at all. It is an absolute man-made construct, which means this is another reason why when you're working on manifesting the things you're calling in, whether it's health, money, relationship, you don't want to see it in the process of happening. You want to see it as already happened, because that's where the embodiment comes from. The energetic alignment comes from the thinking, feeling, right? And then when we can learn to behave in those thinking and feeling, that's when magic happens. So I started to write out, who am I in Washington? Like, who is Washington Haylee? And I would always refer to me now, as that. What would Washington Haylee do in this situation? But I wouldn't know what she would do unless I planned it all out. So I got my journal and I really started to think about, what could I dream for myself? What reality could I dream for myself in Washington? How does she wake up every day? And again, this is not something you're creating. You're tapping into this version of yourself. It already exists. There is no separation. So tap into the version of yourself that has the thing right now that you're trying to call in. How does that version of you, how are they waking up right now? Again, as if they're already alive, living like a friend, and they are, okay? But see them as a part of your present reality in a sense. You're tapping into what they're doing right now. But tap into how you wake up, how you talk to yourself. What are your habits like? And for me, I really wanted to wake up and take care of my garden, make a hot cup of tea, do my spiritual practices. There's books, courses I want to write. I really want to be outdoors, shopping at farmers markets. I really want to express more of my artistic talents here and really live a second life as an artist in a way. And I just saw this life for me that felt like poetry. It would bring tears to my eyes thinking that life could be like that, you know? And regardless of what my mind tried to tell me, again, your mind is just showing you, like, once you start to differentiate like lower mind from higher mind, it becomes easier not to take the lower mind seriously, because the awareness that it is the lower mind expressing itself allows you to hold space for it but not identify with it or give it meaning about you. And so when I would write out these desires and how I feel each day and the things that I spend my time doing and who I am as a person, those lower mind thoughts came up for a little bit, but eventually they started to die down the more I felt connected to it. And it's kind of like when you're working on a book. Think about working on a book. You start to get really familiar with every page, right? You start to remember every chapter that you've written. When people ask about specific parts of the book, you know what they're talking about because it's your baby. You've spent so much time and consciousness with that book, creating that book, going back through and reading that book, right? And so this version of yourself that you're tapping into is like that. Like, you start to feel really connected to them. Like, really. Just with consistency, like each day, relentlessly tapping into that version of yourself and asking yourself what thoughts are connected to this version of myself and what beliefs, because you are basically creating as much clarity as you can about that version of yourself and then adapting it into what you're doing now. So again, thinking, feeling, and behavior in coherence. You're looking at that version of yourselves, thinking, feeling, and behavior, so that you can start to adapt that little by little in all of the situations. Maybe, the person who you held the door open for, and it made you upset because they didn't even look at you and you felt like they didn't appreciate it. Like look at how your lower mind would react to that, and now how this new version of yourself would react in these situations. And over time, it gets easier and easier to start to embody that version of yourself, because you've gotten clarity on what that version of yourself would do and who they are and what they stand for and what their values are and what they embody, And I really started to just like daydream about this part of myself. And then every single night I would fall asleep as if I just moved to Washington. Like literally I would, and it's so cool. It's almost like an out-of-body experience technique, because the target technique where you're laying down, working to induce an out-of-body experience, but you imagine yourself standing over here, like looking at your body. That's a perspective technique that we talk about a lot on the channel. I kind of did that for my Washington self. Like I would lay down, close my eyes, and then I was in Utah, right? But I would imagine myself on the map in Washington, and I would like feel, like actually I would feel the distance between Utah Haylee and Washington Haylee. It's like literally I would travel in consciousness to Washington and truly feel, even for a split second, I would feel the shift. And that's how it starts to feel. At first you feel crazy. At first you feel like it's not working. And then you're like, this is kind of fun. And then you really start to get connected to this version of yourself you're creating. And then you start to believe little by little that you are that version of yourself. And then you have little glimpses of these ideas and these thoughts that are actually coming from that version of yourself into the now, because you're starting to merge with that version of yourself right before your eyes. You can't even tell that that's what's happening. That's really, really, really what starts to happen. And then like in Utah, one thing, quantum leaps in consciousness, you already know that's exactly what's going on. In Utah, me and Chance always talk shit about the weather, because if it rained there, it would rain for like 2 seconds and then stop, and it was just really, really hot and dry, and there's wasps everywhere trying to attack you, and it was just like, we're just like, it's fine, whatever, we're just ready to get out of here, right? But like when I would go on a walk, I trained myself as soon as I go outside. I'm so grateful for this Washington air. And I would look up, and even though there weren't any trees where I was walking in Utah, I would look up like I was looking at all the pine trees and just breathing in the fresh air and being so grateful and really taking my time on the walks. Like before, sometimes in Utah, I would try to rush it, because I'm just like, oh, it's hot. I don't want to be out here. Just the place I was in was not very relaxing. And it took me out of the moment sometimes. So my biggest practice was to stay in the moment, as present as I can, in consciousness of Washington Haylee, like in the embodiment of everything that I desire. And I started to do this on my Utah walks, and guess what? Almost brings me to tears thinking about it. It's almost like I connected to my Washington self so much that Washington came to me. You know how I told you it was like never raining in Utah? Like it would hardly ever rain. You'd get like 0.2 inches of rain a year where we were. It started to rain a lot. Every day. Truly, after embodying that version of myself, I started to see Washington everywhere I went. Every time I went outside, it's like right before my eyes, reality started to change. And I remember the first time that happened, and I was doing this relentlessly because I really wanted to get to Washington. I knew I was meant to be here. And so I didn't care what my thoughts were saying at at a certain point, I relentlessly, with so much fire and certainty in my body, like I knew not only was I going to be in Washington, but I was already there. I felt it. And I'm telling you, there was one point on the walk that I was taking where I was closing my eyes and I was just feeling so grateful to be in Washington, right? Guess what? I opened my eyes. Storm clouds are coming. It started to rain. And it didn't only rain for a moment. It rained. And I sat there in so much gratitude in the rain. And that rain that I felt that day represented the first time physically that Washington touched me physically in that way, like truly touched my skin in that moment while I was in Utah. I worked so hard to shed that disbelief and merge with that version of myself so fully that I feel like Washington had no choice but to come to me. And one thing I love that Rhonda Byrne says is she said, if you were in a locked room and you had absolutely no resistance to what you desire would come to you. Even you being in a locked room, the people would show up, the circumstances would show up, the weirdest things would show up to literally bring what you desire to you, because if you embody that fully without resistance, with mathematical accuracy, it has to show up. It is universal law. It is light gravity. And I will be the first to tell you that, like, I believe in this more than anything else. I know that this is true, and I know that this is possible, and I know that this is the formula. And I have read so many books, studied so much over so many years, and even in dreams, and in all the books that I've written, even if they were written in the 1920s, I started to run into the same information. In my spiritual experiences, in the books that I read, in the scientific research studies I was reading, they're all saying the same thing. And eventually you start to piece together like the truth in what you're reading. Once you start to see very similar information everywhere, you're like, okay, I think I'm figuring out like what's happening. And I promise you, the only reason that we feel separate from what we desire is because of this lower mind that we give so much attention to. You are not your mind. You are the one witnessing your mind. And the mind is necessary to help us grow, because without the mind, we wouldn't have these things to overcome, right? So it does play a role, but it's not the role you think it does. It's not telling you what is possible. It's not telling you your truth. It's not telling you your limitations. It's calling you to rise above this lower mind. The lower mind it's what helps keep us grounded into this physical experience. But I promise you, everything that you have ever desired is waiting for you. It's just waiting for you to know that you're worthy of it. Like, seriously. I just want you to know that you are. Every single thing that you desire for yourself, you are worthy of, because if you feel it, it's calling you. And all we want is to feel free. All we want is to feel at peace. All we want is to feel abundant. And all of that is your birthright. And these steps we're talking about, this thinking, feeling, and behaving, those are just the steps to actually get you to transcend that lower mind and help you embody your truth. Because it is truth. It is truth. And you're hearing this right now because it's your time. Like, you don't have to go any longer without believing you're worthy. I just want you to know how worthy you are, because I know what it feels like to feel like you don't deserve anything for literally no reason. It's just our wounds and our pain that cause us to believe that. But I'm telling you, you are here for absolute liberation. You are here to free yourself from suffering, and you are here to live a life that you've always imagined for yourself and your friends and your family. And I promise you, like, be as delusional as you fucking want with your magic, okay? That's one thing that I dedicated this year is, like, I even wrote it on my wall because, like, sometimes showing up online in all my weird woo-woo, witchy, dreamy, magical, whatever that I know is true, like, sometimes there's that lower mind that tells me, oh, you got to tone it down. And it's like, who is that serving? That is just teaching other people that they need to water themselves down because what they want is not possible. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you permission, because the moment that you decide to go against what people tell you is true is the moment you actually find the magic that everyone is looking for, but no one believes in. And that's the exact reason why they don't see it, is because they don't believe in it. So allow yourself to be fully immersed in everything you desire. I'm telling you, feeling is everything. I promise you. And to get to that feeling is through managing your thoughts, obviously. We can't just, like, have all of these thoughts about, oh, I'm not worthy, oh, I can never receive abundance, and then, like, feel abundantly connected to everything that we desire. It's a thread. Like, you can't just change your feeling if your thinking is not incoherent. So I promise you, create clarity first. Clarity on what you desire. That's the very first step. Create clarity on the reality that you desire to be in. Look at the exact qualities of that reality. Like, where are you in that reality? What is it that you even want? What is it that you're creating? Write them out. That is the first step. Ask, believe, receive. And by the way, even the receive part is in consciousness. All of those is in consciousness. The physical reality will catch up once you embody those 3 steps. Getting clarity on the life you want, right? Believing that it is true and that it is possible, and embodying the receiving aspect of it. Like, get so clear on that version that you want to be that you literally, if people asked you questions about it, you would have the answer. Like, it is like a character that you're about to fucking play and that you are going to embody fully, and before you know it, magic will happen. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say, by the way, about the Washington thing. I was going to go beyond just the rain part of, like, when it started to rain. Okay, so I didn't have any savings for Washington. I didn't have any saving, and I'll go over the steps again right before we end, right after I share this last piece. But I didn't have any savings in my account. I was just doing the embodiment work. I was just doing, like, really looking at who that version of me was and using every single opportunity in life to practice being more like her. Truly. Then, within a month, I don't know how. I do not know how. Don't ask me. But something happened where, out of nowhere, an avalanche of abundance came in that doesn't even make sense, from a complete random source that doesn't even make sense. And this is why we can't get caught up on the how, because the universe will blow your fucking mind when it comes to the how, okay? Like, it will come in a way greater than you even thought. And so don't worry about the how. Worry about the embodiment of the feeling and the magic that, like, is beyond what your mind could ever expect. But literally in less than a month, going from no savings at all in my bank account, literally no savings, I had enough money saved up in less than a month to buy a brand new 2024 Santa Fe SUV. We were in a tiny little Mustang. Me, Chance, and my dog Juno. It was like already having problems. There was no fucking way we would be able to drive that all the way to Washington, pack up everything in that. Are you kidding? So that was the first step, was to replace our vehicle so that we could actually get out to Washington. And then to find a house, right? In less than a month, dude. Like, the ad, as soon as I don't know how, Chance woke up one day and says, oh my gosh, I need to go to this site and check the availability on this car or whatever. I don't even know. And I think this was right before the money actually came in, because we were already looking for a car and trying to attract the one that we wanted. And he woke up one day and just said, I have to check something, and went to his computer and saw that the 2024 Santa Fe whatever got released. And he called the people. They said, oh, there's one left. There is one available. Not one left, one available. They only got one in. It was that new. Do you want to come and see it? And we wanted to be like, should we wait or should we go see it? I'm like, well, we got to embody that we're like ready to get the car. We got to embody that we're, that it's time. So let's transcend the physical circumstances and let's just go check it out. We go and look at the car, right? And they say they're gonna, they say, we check it out. We love it. They're gonna hold on to it for a couple, I think like 7 days or something. And 2 days later, we have that big month where like literally everything just comes in at what, like, I'm telling you, it was absolutely the universe. I swear to God, I had nothing to do with it. Like literally, that's exactly what it felt like. Within less than 7 days of seeing the car, we were able to reserve that car. We had savings already in the account for our Washington home. We applied for a Washington house that we really, really liked, and we got denied. And I felt so like defeated. I was so upset. I was like, oh my God, there's no way we're gonna find anything, and then that lower mind came back. And that's part of the game, is like going back with that lower mind, higher mind, lower mind, higher mind, and just giving that higher mind more and more equal airtime until that starts to become normal, until that lower mind kind of starts to soften and die down a little bit. And while they're telling us that someone else got that house, they say, but there is this one property that literally just got put on the market that you're first in line for, if you want to check it out. Okay. The first one that we applied for was a little townhouse that was pretty cool. And we were in an apartment before, so I thought that was a pretty good step next, get out of an apartment, go into a townhouse. Cool. The universe is conspiring to help you receive what you want or greater. Always make room for or greater or better, because that's truly, truly what happened. They were on the phone. They said we were first in line for this house. And at first we didn't know if we liked it, because like there was hardly any pictures online. It just seemed weird. I couldn't really feel out what the house looked like. But we said, yes, we'd love to get a tour of it. Like when the universe provides you with opportunity, that's where you take action in the physical realm. You don't have to try super fucking hard and struggle your entire life in the physical plane to get what you want. You work in the mental plane, and when opportunities come in the physical plane, your job is to take action on them. That's that's putting your behavior in coherence, being ready to take those opportunities in the physical realm, right? We got a tour on Zoom, and I'm telling you, it had the yard that I promised Juno. It had the kitchen. I finally have my own office, like in my apartment. My office was in the little like dining room nook thing. So my entire business, I was in the kitchen basically until I moved here. That's kind of where I was, in my apartment. And again, before this, I wrote down all the things that I wanted in a home. Like, I want Juno to finally have a yard. I want to have my own office. I want to have a kitchen big enough that me and Chance can fit in it and cook together. Like, these things that meant a lot to me. And once she gave us a tour on Zoom, and again, it was on the call when we got rejected, that she's like, and it was exactly what we're looking for. And those of you who know that I'm obsessed with blue, literally, like, I love blue so much. One thing I told myself is, if the house is blue in any fucking way, that's an extra sign to me that it's meant to be. And guess what? The house is blue. Not only blue, it's my blue-gray color. And most of the rooms in here also are blue. And once we got a tour, I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. What? And we applied, And I put out all of the best energy I could. Like, I put in all of the best energy that I could. And I think it was like 4 days later, we were shopping, and I just kept imagining that we got accepted, and I just kept feeling so excited for it. And I was bringing myself to tears with gratitude for it before they even told us about it. That's how hard I want you to feel your manifestations. That's how hard I want you to embody emotionally the things that you desire. Bring your physical self to tears, because that's when you can tell you're really transcending the physical doubt that we've been all programmed to have. Well, we were shopping, grocery shopping, and guess what? I checked my phone and we fucking got it, dude. We got it. And it is so, and again, it is like everything feels so like I am renting here right now. Obviously, like, I wasn't ready to like go from being in an apartment and no savings to buying a house, but it is just what I need in order to feel comfortable, in order to put some money aside. It has enough space for me to create content that I love. I'm not stuck in a little dining room den like I was before. Like, and it was hard to create really fun, creative content before in new places because I didn't really have anywhere to go in Utah. I was just in my little apartment, and hey, I think I did the best that I could for like the 5 years that I was there, but I knew the potential that I had getting out here. I knew what this move would create for me, and I knew who I could become. And I think that ambition, that fire that I started to feel inside, it kind of started to take over the doubt. The doubt wasn't as loud as my declaration to embody that version of myself, you know? And I'm telling you, and that all happened within a month. In a month of having no savings at all, dude. Like, feeling outgrown from the place I was in, but not ready for the place that I was going. It was a really uncomfortable feeling. But guess what, bitches? That's what I call the fucking void, in a good way. Okay, this void really means that you're in the emergence process. You're falling out of your old life, and your new life is being created for you. And so if you feel like shit is falling away as you're doing this embodiment work, like friendships that maybe you've thought for a while that aren't maybe good for you, maybe those start to fall away. Maybe your job situation changes, or maybe you just start to see some things fall away in your physical reality, but you are doing the embodiment work. You are truly starting to believe that it is already here. You truly are. That's a sign that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. That I truly believe there's like this void process in between, like coming out of the lives that we had and starting to embody the ones that we're creating. But yeah, I think that month was like this void process, and then out of nowhere, I'm not even kidding, and this is why I don't want you to believe time has anything to do with this shit, because I'm telling you, that was the craziest situation ever when it came to seeing time as non-existent. The universe lost no time. I'm not even kidding. Like, I felt so supported after I did the embodiment work. It's like I didn't even have to think about the hows or the financial piece or whatever. It got me to where I needed to be. And the moment that you start believing that that's your birthright and that you deserve it, like, and really cut out the fucking doubt for your desires. I mean, think about how many people in the world that maybe aren't necessarily good people, but have a lot of power and have all of the abundance that they desire. You can see like that it really does come down to a belief, and you are already worthy of everything you desire. And I'm sure you're an amazing person on top of that, and that you care about people, and you care about doing good things, and you care about the work that you're doing on yourself. And even just that alone, you are so worthy. Like, you are so lovable, you are so enough, and abundance is your absolute birthright. But you have to know that you can have it, and you have to be willing to let yourself have it. Like, if someone was going to gift you, let's say that you were calling in more money, right? Like, let's say that someone tomorrow is trying to gift you $100,000. How does that feel in your body? Do you want to reject it? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel shame? Does it feel scary to hold that much money? That shows you, by the way, where the work is still on the mental plane. And that's why it's so important to decide what you want, because the moment you decide what you want, you're going to notice your mind fight you about it. And that's exactly what you want, because it shows you exactly what blockages you need to work through. For example, let's say you're going down the street and you see a Ferrari like in the shop or whatever, and tell yourself, I'm going to go in and buy that Ferrari. And I just want you to watch what your mind says. Just watch. Pfft, are you kidding? You're not going to buy that. We can't afford that. Bam. Right there. Right there. It shows you. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Now I know what to do more work around. You will be shown your blocks and limitations the moment you set your goals and dreams high enough so that you can actually rise to them. Like, if you never decide what you want, you don't have an opportunity to see what's in your way. Like, you have to be willing to think bigger than your fears, and think bigger than your doubts, and think bigger than your insecurities, because that's literally where the life of your dreams is. I'm telling you, everything else is just part of programming. And so the moment you actually truly think beyond what you've ever thought for yourself before, you start to see the path to it. Not only the path to it, but the resistance in it. And guess what? Remember what I told you, what Rhonda Byrne says, literally the author of The Secret? If you were in a locked room, but you had no resistance to the life that you desire, it would make its way to you. It has to. It's universal law that people would show up, the circumstances would show up. That's how powerful you are when you are not in resistance. And this is why, if you are trying to manifest, or create or step into the life that you desire, but you're having a day where you don't feel very connected to it, or you're having doubt, again, go back to gratitude. Don't go back to your practices that create an emotional shift, because once you create an emotional shift, then you have so much more power to create. You have so much more power to create. And again, these tools and these techniques that we do, like tapping and meditation and energy, they're all things just to help you release resistance. That's all that these things are. So find the things that help you release your resistance. Find the things that empower you. One of my favorite things is I'm listening to talks all day, dude. Like, the things that really shift me, I'm listening to consistently. I am constantly filling my mind with things that light me up so much that I'm probably annoying Chance with how excited I am, because I'm constantly running in his room, telling him the revelations I have, literally crying because I'm so excited that I realized something new that I should do. It's like, make your own universe so magical that you don't even give a shit what's outside of it. Like, you are so consumed by possibility for your own life and what you're creating, and all these little glimmers that you're noticing coming in that support where you're going. Like, let that consume you, because this physical reality, again, is just a results-based reality. It's not anywhere where you want to spend your precious, beautiful energy trying to create, Did you drive to Washington? Yes, we did drive to Washington. So Chance's father actually drove our U-Haul for us. And then we were in front of him driving our SUV packed with our stuff, like our main stuff that we wanted to keep with us, and then our dog. So yeah, we did drive to Washington, and I'm telling you, it was the craziest feeling. And we didn't even see the house in person before we moved. Like, we just had that Zoom tour thing, and then we got our dates. Our date was April 12th when we moved here. Wow. I just can't believe it still. I literally still sit and I just look at everything. I'm like, wow. And that's what I want you to be with your desire before it even happens. Like, that's how I am now. Even right before I went live with you guys, I was writing in my desires, and I was just reading through each one, and I was just feeling like, if that truly is who I am, who am I in that? Like, I have to know who I am in those desires in order to become that, truly everything is that awareness. But yeah, just driving to Washington was so amazing. And it was the most magical time ever. It was literally spring, cherry blossoms everywhere, dappled sunlight. It's kind of like the dream. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys know the fucking healing dream I just told you about? The healing lucid dream that completely transformed my whole life? You remember how I just explained the environment? I just realized, like, it is literally the path that I took to Washington. Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay. I don't even know what's happening ever. Things are just so magical and crazy. That healing dream, that healing lucid dream that I had when I was like 18 or 19, that like completely transformed my life. I'm literally just realizing that the path that I described you guys of the road that I got lucid on, I swear to God, was where I move now. That's so fucking crazy. See what I mean by time? That was before I even knew that I wanted to go to Washington. Like, I just had that moment of like, as I was describing what Washington was like as we were moving here. Whoa, that is so crazy. When we pulled in for the first time to our little neighborhood, yeah, it was like a dappled sunlight. It was cherry blossoms, like just cherry blossoms moving in the wind. It was literally like a dream. I'm not even kidding. I had to reality check a million times because I was like, there's no fucking way this is real. Moss all over the trees, just the cutest little circle community. And I've always wanted to be in a little community where I could like make little jams and syrups and like give them to my neighbors and grow my own garden. And guess what? That thing that I imagined, oh my God, I just realized something else. So, you know how I told you? Sorry, I'm like this constantly. Imagine how Chance feels. This is what I mean by like, I'm energetically like wild sometimes when I'm feeling inspired. But like, okay, in my Washington reality, one of the main things that I saw for myself is that I wanted a garden. I wanted a garden of herbs, and I wanted to grow my own, herbs for tea and my own veggies and stuff like that. Oh my God, so crazy. A few months ago, my neighbor that I never really met was outside, and she called me over. She's like, hey, because we just like moved in not too long ago, so I think she's just trying to say, hey, what's up, and make a connection. But she called me over and she's like, hey, I'm trimming my rosemary and my sage and my basil and all of that. Do you want to take these home and propagate them? This is what I mean. I wanted a garden. Guess what? I didn't even have to work for it. The universe literally gave me cuttings of all the herbs that I wanted for my garden. Wow, I just realized that too. Like, that was one of the main things in my Washington self-vision, was just the little slow poetic things I wanted to do throughout the day, and tending to my garden was one of them. And I just realized that the universe provided that effortlessly too. Like, she just called me over, and before I knew it, I was in my house with tons of cuttings of sage and basil and rosemary and all of these different plants. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And now I have a lemon tree, a eucalyptus tree, I have a billion house plants. Wow, that's just so cool. So this is, one more thing. This is also to help you release any limiting beliefs about how things can come in. Anime girl, hello, how's it going? Someone was on Rhonda Byrne's live and they were talking about, well, for example, in order to win the lottery, don't I need to buy a lottery ticket? Because literally I need to take action in order to get that. And Rhonda said, no, again, you don't need to worry about the how. Someone could buy you a lottery ticket for your birthday and it could be the winning ticket. There was no work on your part for that to happen. Just the alignment. And that shows your brain that even though it thinks it's like there's this very specific linear way to get what you desire, the spiritual world really doesn't work like that at all. again, you can kind of tell when you're in your lower mind because it will try to be figuring things out in the physical realm. Like once you are in your higher mind, once you're in once you start to truly embody that reality on an emotional level, it starts to transcend the how and like the little details. It starts to turn into full trust and gratitude. Like that's all that exists there. It's like the fear and worry and the anxiety and like the planning falls away, and the trust and the gratitude and the joy of its possibility and its existence, because the fact you even think about it shows that it exists, because we can't create our own thoughts or ideas. We tap into these energies. And so that alone, you know, shows us truly the infiniteness, infinite universe that we are working with. And I'm telling you, the moment you allow yourself to feel that, the moment you allow yourself to feel that that's true, it will show up in every sense of the word, in every plane, the physical plane, the dream plane. Girl, I'm telling you, is crazy. Okay, so I know that this live stream is titled "Your Dreams at Night Are the Key to the Life of Your Dreams," but almost 2 hours later, I think this is really important to hammer in like the key components of what it allows us to shift quantumly in this way and embody who we desire. And now I'm going to give you just a quick breakdown of why the dream world can help us with this. Because when we are lucid dreaming, again, we are in the territory of the subconscious mind. We're bypassing the conscious mind, and we are truly in a realm of infinite possibility. And you know how I said everything is truly energetic? We are in an energetic universe. Look at what the dream state is. It's truly infinite possibility. And you know what's cool about the lucid dream world? It doesn't have the physical density that this reality does when it comes to manifesting or creating the life that we want. Things can manifest instantly there. If you are familiar with, if you've had a lucid dream before, you know that it is an extremely thought-responsive state. And this reality also is a thought-responsive state, but it's kind of running on snail mail. It's a little bit slower, right? And so what's amazing about doing this work also in your dreams, again, I just gave you so much like daytime embodiment work to really hammer this in. And then at night, when you get lucid, you can go in and infuse this work too. Basically, as soon as you get lucid, again, we talked about if you notice the dream's ending and you only have a little bit of time to infuse, these thoughts and feelings and behavior into your dreams, focus on the true power affirmations you want to state out loud with intense feeling. Because I truly believe when we do things within this dream realm, it is like creating that energetic imprint in the universe. It goes beyond the physical realm. Like doing work on the dream realm is really like doing some like hours and hours and hours of deep embodiment work in the physical realm. I truly believe that, and I can even see that with the physical healing that I experience within the lucid dream realm, right? Like time collapses there. And one lucid dream of affirming my healing was able to provide me relief after years and years and years of chronic suffering. So that shows you how powerful that state can be, especially if you work with it consistently. And there's so many ways you can work with your desired reality and dreams. I mean, you can request to meet yourself from that reality. That's what I would do, is I would request to meet my Washington self. And I only met her once within like a lucid dream, but before bed, a lot of the times I would ask her for inspiration. I would call upon that version of myself to speak to me in my dreams. And I would wake up with new ideas. And, that's how my second channel was created. The Lucid Mystic sleep music, that was created from a dream. Same with this third channel I'm about to release called The Dream Realm, which I've talked about a couple times. I'm about to release a third channel I'm hoping that it's completed by this month. I'm getting 7 videos ready to release before I launch it to the public. But I am creating a guided meditation and hypnosis YouTube channel called The Dream Realm. And where your imagination is your manifestation is kind of what it's about. So it's really allowing you to embody certain realities in consciousness to experience them in your physical reality. This is for healing. This is for lucid dreams. We're going to be doing stuff around worthiness. There's going to be subliminal affirmations, all this stuff to help you transcend your inner state to live the life that you desire. And that came to me in a dream also. And I believe that truly was from my higher self. So know that these states have so much power, and setting these requests. Yeah, Eric. Yup. And it's already done. Like literally, it's already done. I already have the entire channel ready to go. I'm just putting the final touches on the videos, and we're gonna launch. And so this is the type of work that we do in the physical plane is when we get these inspired ideas. It's using the magic of our physical hands and our physical body to help bring our dreams to life. This is what this physical plane is for. We should not be trying to remove the resistance within this physical plane and grind and grind and grind to make things happen. Once we reach that higher mind and we get those inspired ideas, we can use our beautiful hands that we were given to bring those things to life, to make it easier for that value to form, and there's so many ways to use that state. And I mean, of course, when you're lucid, you can also ask any of your dream characters what they represent about you, what they represent to you, and you'll find some interesting stuff. Sometimes they'll be sarcastic, sometimes they won't make sense, and sometimes it will be really, 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 really deep. I found one of my favorite things to do within the lucid dream state is to work with my internal archetypes, my inner child, my inner anger, the shadow, my creativity, doubt. If you have any specific addictions, you can speak to those specific addictions. Charlie Morley has a story where one of his clients spoke to his nicotine addiction within the lucid dream and stopped smoking cigarettes cold turkey after that, which I thought was really cool. And so it really shows you really what we're working with. This is no joke. You have so much more power. I think we're kind of almost probably more intimidated to fully see our potential than we are to know that it's there. I think we know that it's there. I think we just really almost fear how powerful we are. But I want you to know that there's nothing to fear. Everything will always line up how it's supposed to, and that belief and that trust allows you to see it. I truly believe it will happen regardless, but I think that trust and that belief allows you to feel your way to it in a way that you want to, because again, if you allow yourself to sit in dark, heavy energy of like worry and panic and fear, I know how paralyzing that is, how it completely shifts your entire perspective on the world and what's possible and who you are. And it's almost like the book, if you've heard of this, Soundtracks, The Surprising Solution to Overthinking. It talks about how like the thoughts that we have are literally soundtracks that play, and the soundtracks that are playing are based on specific beliefs or limitations. And so next time you notice certain thoughts going in your head, what soundtrack do I have in right now? Like literally take time to become aware again and realize like what record you are literally playing right now. And there's another thing that I learned recently from a class I was in. He said, your thoughts and emotions are transactions. When you choose to think a thought and sit in a feeling, you are purchasing more of those thoughts and feelings consciously. And because once you choose to think a thought, again, it's creating a soundtrack of them. They're stored inside. And so knowing that thoughts are they come as a set of thoughts based on what belief they're attached to, or what emotion they're attached to, or what limitation or block they're attached to. It has a whole world of its own set of thoughts and feelings and behaviors. And so the moment you realize that your thoughts and emotions are a currency, it kind of helps you see them as more sacred, especially knowing that you're one thought away from a magical moment. I'm not even kidding. You are one thought away from a magical moment. And I want you to remember that reticular activating system we talked about, that subconscious filter. It's scientifically proven. It's there. Don't worry. That's what I love also about science, is it's like the exploration of spirituality in a deep sense, And so I love seeing the connection in the two, because it just makes it so, I don't know, not only fun, but there's a method to it. There's a recipe, there's a process, there's something we can repeat and test and try again, But remember that reticular activating system. For those of you who weren't here, I was talking about how we all have this subconscious filter that completely controls what we choose to see. It's kind of the exact same thing that activates when you're doing one of those Where's Waldo games. So for example, I want you to become conscious of the color red right now. I want you to look in your environment and just notice how the color red starts to stand out now. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. There's not all of a sudden more red now than there was before. It's this filter. It shows you how powerful this filter is. And so if you choose consciously to witness a magical moment, or you can even start off small. I'm in this group called Hearts in Nature, and they always just post hearts that they see, whether it's a heart in the clouds or heart in their cereal or whatever it is. And I've always seen hearts everywhere, but the moment I joined that group and just started seeing people sharing and witnessing these things coming in and taking time to notice and celebrate them, I started to see hearts in every single thing that I looked at. I'll be zoning out at the carpet, and then I'll realize what I'm looking at, and it's the shape of a heart. It's everywhere. That is the exact filter. That is the exact thing we're talking about. It's not that there were more hearts than before. They're always there. That shows you the magic of your perception, the magic of what you choose to tune into. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. Dream Doctor girl, oh my God. Love that. Love that. And I truly believe that you are here to create the life of your dreams. And one of the amazing ways that I know to do that is by using the power of your dreams. But of course, we talk about so much more than that here, because there's so many ways to fulfill who you're meant to be. And I just want you to remember how powerful this machine is that you have inside. This brain is here to help you not only survive, but you are meant to thrive. And I promise you, remember the planes we talked about, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, because once you become aware, you really can start to tune into, okay, where am I resisting, and where am I focusing my work right now? Where can I embody that version of myself that I am wanting to get to know more and more and more? I promise you, the more clear you get on who you are, when you're in that reality of being one with the things you desire, not only is it going to feel so good to play in that realm, but your brain doesn't know the difference between something you're dreaming about, something that's actually happening, or something you're imagining. Which means scientifically, you can literally convince yourself that you are the embodiment already of everything that you desire. And putting that thinking, feeling, and behaving into coherence, those three keys, that is the magic formula to live the absolute most magic life you've ever dreamed of. Now, again, this work is really about deep integration. So do this as much as you can. Again, like one more thing to note on this, create a morning routine that automatically creates those higher feelings, because once you can do that, you are in your power to start creating and to start calling those things in. Do not try to imagine or mentally rehearse when you're feeling worried or scared. Like, take that time to witness and hold those fears and neutralize them and let yourself know that it's okay. Because again, anxiety, I even had it written on my wall, anxiety is an alarm looking for reassurance. It doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. It just wants you to confirm that everything is working out for you, that everything is okay, that you're safe in this moment. That's all that anxiety is. But you want to create from those higher emotions. So find a morning routine that really empowers you. And the moment you feel you drop yourself back down into those lower energies, go do your morning routine again. Do it relentlessly, because a morning routine isn't just to last us the whole day. Imagine if we just did like our gratitude once, and then we tapped into the thoughts that we wanted to have once, and then we just didn't look at the board for the rest of the day, and we just felt into negative emotions for the rest of the day. It is not going to be effective. Again, you want to give your higher emotions more airtime than your programs you're trying to break. So the moment you notice yourself slip back into that, okay, we're going back, we're doing it again. And I promise you, just a couple days of that, and you're going to wake up feeling different. You're going to notice your thoughts are more on your side. You're going to notice not a pit in your stomach from fear, but butterflies in your stomach from excitement and possibility. You are literally going to witness a miracle inside of yourself the moment you practice giving more airtime to that embodiment of what you're calling in. I promise you. Allow yourself to feel delusional. Allow yourself to be all woo-woo and magical. Act like you are performing for an Oscar and you are literally embodying your most inspired, most abundant, most free, most kind and loving and generous and energetic self. Because that's who you are at your core. That is your truth. That is your birthright. And the moment you realize that is who you are, the moment you will shed who you are not. What would you recommend for a morning routine like self-love and gratitude? So for me, the first thing that I do when I wake up, I come into my room and I have a list of things that I have, a list of thoughts and beliefs that I've curated for myself that feel true and light me up, and I read through them with as much emotion as possible. I read them out loud. I put my hand over my heart. I truly feel it in my body. I probably have almost 5 minutes of stuff to read on my wall every single day. Once I do that, I go to my little meditation pillow over here and I write my 10 biggest things of gratitude for today. And after each one, I do because blank. You don't want to just put, I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for my dog. You want to put why, because that's where the feeling comes in. That's where the emotion of gratitude, of receiving is released, is in the why. So I am so grateful for my dog because he is my best friend and he teaches me so much about myself and just gives so much joy to my life. I am so grateful for my home because it keeps me safe, keeps a roof over my head, and allows me a place where I can consistently be inspired. I am so grateful for my mind because it provides me with the most beautiful ideas and allows me to make my absolute dreams come true. I'm so grateful for my body because it takes care of me and works to protect me every single day without me even having to ask. You can see how the because is where the power is. And so I write 10 different ones every single day, and it's okay if some crossover, but you want to get in the habit of daily gratitude because again, you're automatically putting yourself into the state of receiving, and it is not, the state of receiving is not money or love or this or this. It is love because that is the core of everything, but the things like physical currency and stuff like that, those are just byproducts of being the embodiment of that energy of receiving, if that makes sense. So I do my gratitude Then I do like a meditation. Sometimes it's different. Lately I've been doing this candlelight meditation in my body to create like peace and alignment. If you really just go off of how you feel. But I also do tapping, which is like emotional freedom tapping. I kind of just go with what I'm feeling, but this has been my thing lately. Then I read a chapter in my book. I'm reading The Magic by Rhonda Burns, and it is a 28-day gratitude practice. So every single day there is a new gratitude practice to stack on top of the one the day before. And so it literally feels like I'm in this little school for the next 30 days. And every single day I have things to do, a part of my gratitude practice. Before bed, the last gratitude practice in there was to find a gratitude rock and really infuse it with as much gratitude for every single thing you were grateful for that day before you go to bed, like in your bed, and then think about the most beautiful thing or the best thing that happened that day and really hold that rock and infuse it with gratitude and do that every day. So there's like little things like that, like little practices that I'm having a lot of fun with that allow me to connect to that energy. And I'm telling you, I've been moved to tears every single day. Like even today, I woke up early, a little bit earlier than usual, and I just wanted to sit in bed and just be in the embodiment of everything I'm grateful for, because that has been shifting me more than anything. And in my mind's eye, I saw little me giving me a flower. What? Like just in my mind's eye randomly today. And I truly believe that my inner child's been through so much, dude. My past is crazy, but I feels like she's really starting to trust me now. I don't know. I'm starting to feel this love for myself that I haven't felt before. And I really believe that's the power of inner child work, is we start to see ourselves as the precious little us that we are, the little kid in us that had all these big hopes and dreams and that believed everything was possible. By doing this work, you're nurturing that part of yourself again. And now we get to live through the eyes of our inner child, right? Where everything is possible, where magic is absolutely real. And so you want to find ways to unlock this type of energy inside. After that, I will usually go on a walk and listen to a talk like from Michael Singer or from Rhonda, or I take a lot of master classes and stuff. I just love to listen to things like that give me like aha moments and stuff. I'll come back and do some like physical movement, like yoga, and if I ever notice I slip back into worry or something, I'll come and like write out all my thoughts and like a thought download and stuff, and then I'll read through them, and then you can totally see what's true and what's not. Like that's how you can see the neurosis of the brain, is because it's worried about all of these things and or upset about all of these things, but once you write them down, you're like, oh, where's the problem? Like a lot of the time you're like, oh, you just needed to write that down to like see the solution or to see a different perspective or whatever it means. And yeah, I'll do that. And then especially though, if I feel negative feelings or worry or doubt or fear or whatever, I'll come back to the things that I know shift me. So that's what you want to do, is you just want to find the things that shift you. So maybe it's a video that you've heard that just gives you so much inspiration. Make it a part of your morning routine to listen to that video every single day until you get sick of it or until you find something else. You want to hammer in those things that create those higher feelings for you, because that is what is going to allow you to break down those negative programs you have and start to give these higher parts of yourself more airtime. And the moment you do that, you start to notice these other thoughts or worries get quieter and start to melt away. And then all of a sudden your mind is supporting you and you're like, wow, okay, like maybe you ran into a hard situation and the first thought that comes in is, oh, this is okay because of this. And you're like, wow, mind, I'm so proud of you. Like you can start to see how the work is impacting you based off your repetition, right? And choosing to be in the highest state as possible. And of course, grief is normal, anger is normal, sadness is normal, Never suppress or reject your feelings. You always want to honor how you feel. But if you know it's a program, like you feel worried for no reason, or you feel anxious for no reason, or you've already done the work around the beliefs and you know it's possible, but you wake up and you still feel those pits in your stomach just because it's so wired in, that's where you know it's not a specific thought or circumstance that's creating it. It's literally wired. The feeling is wired into your body. So that's when I'll do like tapping, meditation, breath work, reading these things on my wall, anything that creates that shift. And again, your whole life is a practice. Your life is a school. You can change things around your routine, how you see fit. Like you can change things around whenever you need to. And as you grow, you're going to need to, right? Your practices are going to change as you grow. But just find what lights you up. For me, I love having a structure, some sort of structure. I love waking up in the morning with a purpose of knowing what I'm going to do that day. I love knowing, I love accomplishing little tasks that mean a lot to me. And my thing before was I was putting way too much on my schedule, and it was causing me to feel behind and feel like I wasn't doing anything, and when really I was accomplishing so much. I was just setting the expectation way too high for myself. So I was literally setting myself up to feel horrible no matter how much I did. So you really want to find a way to make it as easy as possible for you to feel good and for you to feel accomplished. Know that you don't have to have all the answers right now. Know that it's not required for you to be superhuman right now. You're a human. You're doing your best. Like you even waking up and getting clothes on and getting ready for the day, you should celebrate that. Celebrate everything. That is also in the energy of abundance and receiving is celebration. So, like look back. Oh yeah, that's another thing I do is at the end of my day, I will look back on all of the wins I had for that day. Like, well, I went out and got a bagel today. That's a win. I saw a beautiful sunset today. I got a beautiful walk with my dog today. I had a beautiful, amazing cup of tea. I got some work done. I decided to take time off work and care for myself. I mean, these are all wins. You can literally put like every single thing that you do as a win, like seriously. In the moment, again, that reticular activating system, what happens when you start looking at your wins? Who can guess based off of what we've talked about so far? What happens the moment you start to look for your wins? Your brain starts to look for more of them, because that is the subconscious filter that is where you have set your GPS to, and that filter is to look for those wins. So the moment you surround your day, like when you wake up and when you go to bed, with the things you're grateful for and the things that you consider wins that should be celebrated, you feel more abundant. You feel celebrated. You feel loved. You feel accomplished. You feel worthy. And those are all just leading you back to your divine truth. That's all that it is. All these practices are leading you to remembering who you are. That's all that it is. And eventually, it will become a deep knowing. And these practices will evolve as you evolve, and things will change as you change. Just allow yourself to flow and enjoy life, and know that every single thing that is happening for you. If it's not a win, it's a lesson. And if it's a lesson, it's still a win. So truly, you can make your entire life full of things to celebrate that help you grow and that help you realize who you are. And I just want you to know, again, I love you. You are so much more than anyone's ever told you. You are so powerful. Seriously, your power can shift worlds, okay? And the moment you start to explore what that power feels like, who it allows you to become, oh, you're going to have so much fun being you. You're never going to want to be anyone else. You are perfect and whole as you are. And the moment you step into your truth, you will be so grateful and blessed that you get to be you in this lifetime, truly. My wins today, I sang at a nursing home. I had delicious meals. I packed for my trip to the beach. I showered and I got rid of my Tiffany, yes. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing. Wow, what a beautiful day. And just sitting in gratitude for those, even being able to pay our bills on time, we should be grateful for, like all of these things truly are in abundance. And again, to truly be an embodiment of abundance and celebration, even if someone is negative to you, even if someone out in the world gives you a dirty look, like we talked about before, anything, send them so much love and abundance and consciousness, and I promise you, you will feel it 3 times fold too. You will. Okay, just make that your habit, infusing as much love and abundance and celebration into every single thing that you can. And make winning easy for yourself. And the way to make it easy is to learn to celebrate everything, because the fact that you're alive and you're experiencing all of these things, these are all wins. The fact that we're all here together, that's a huge win. The fact that technology even allows us to do this, what the hell? We live in an awesome, awesome time together, okay? And just know that you cannot miss what is meant for you. You are hearing this message at the exact time that you're supposed to hear it. And you are absolutely designed to live the life of your dreams. Again, remember, your desires, they're calling you to them. They're calling you to rise to them, because it's the universe that wants to fulfill these desires for the benefit of all beings. It goes much deeper than our personal lives. Yes, Tiffany, thank you. Sorry. That's one thing. Anyone who listens to my live sometimes, I zone. I get in the zone and I just forget to reach out. Haylee, I just want you to know that I love your excitement and your spirit and the way you look at life. You are the kind of person I want as a best friend. Tiffany, I love you. We could be best friends. I know. I wish I had some of you guys in Washington with me so we can all hang out and be little dreamers together. One thing I do plan on doing, though, I've already talked about it before I moved to Washington. I do plan to do some sort of dream retreat sometime when I'm out here. And how cool would it be to meet some of you amazing, amazing people? That would be so awesome. Tiffany, thank you so much for being here. I truly, truly love you. Anime Girl, thank you. Eric, everybody, and everyone who has commented here. Sam, Joseph, thank you so fucking much for sharing, Haylee. I know the truth and what you're saying, and your beautiful testimony is such a confirmation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. It's truly. Yes, the magic is real. And the moment we really, really remember that, we experience it everywhere. Oh my God, I just got an idea for a course. Oh my God, we should do something called like Living the Magic. And it's a course that helps people truly live the embodiment of the magical life that they desire. Okay, I have to write that down. Okay, and adding a 5th course to my next courses list. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, never mind. So this is what I mean also by like, you'll get ideas without even thinking about it. And you'll be like, oh, okay, that feels right. And that feels easy. I think I should do that. Okay, one second. Living the dream. Maybe if it could be I have all these ideas for things, but I don't know if it should just be like a mastermind, like a workshop, an intensive I need to figure out those details, but I have so many things. I have one course I'm working on, which is called Energy Flow. And the little blurb for it is: free yourself from the mind, discover your abundance, and experience your natural energy flow. That's a course I have coming. Another one is Dream Life Design through Dreamwork, which is design and step into the life of your dreams using brain science and dreamwork. I have a lucid dreaming bootcamp 30-day experience. I have a worthy course, building self-worthiness to magnetize your biggest dreams. They're kind of like all connected. They're like literally very similar ideas. I love this. Anyway, sorry about that. That's me all day. I'm like, I have to run to my computer. I'm like, oh, I got something else I gotta write down. Have you thought of maybe doing tours to share your story in person and your teachings? That is totally something I want to do. I would absolutely love to give like public speaking talks about my story and what dreaming has done for me. And, even it's so funny you say that, Tiffany, because yesterday, as a part of my embodiment practice, I was in the mirror pretending like I was giving a talk on stage to empower people to live their most magical lives. I was literally doing that yesterday as part of my little Delulu woo-woo magical manifestation practice. So that's funny you say that. I'm totally open to that. Yeah, I definitely am working towards that. If you ever do, please come to Roanoke or Salem, Virginia. Okay, noted. Will do. Yeah, I definitely believe that is in my reality that I'm calling in. That is absolutely a part of it. And another thing, I have my podcast I haven't done too much with for the past little bit. I think I have like 3 or 4 episodes total. That's something I want to grow as well, because that's an easy way to share the things I'm talking about here that may have a bigger reach for people that need to hear it aside from a live stream. And that's a way that we could, towards the podcast did well, and that's something that makes sense, then the podcast is a totally a way that could be fulfilled. That would be so cool and crazy. But yeah, that's definitely a part of my dream I'm calling in, I feel. All right, friends. We're still going to stream on Friday night. Okay, expect that. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet. I might have had a meditation and breathwork plan. What do you guys want to do? Tiffany, I love you for that. I gotta say, Neville Goddard would be so proud of you. That makes me so happy. It makes me nerd out that you say that. Thank you. I love you very much. Yes, I'm glad I made it here. Yes, me too. Oh my gosh, me too. But do you guys have an idea of what you want to do on Friday? If not, we'll just see what happens. And if any of you are in the Telegram chat, feel free to throw your ideas in there. We're always hanging out there. Do you mind? Oh, you already dropped it, Eric. Thank you. Go ahead and... I'm fine. That does. That hurt way less than earlier when I bumped my elbow. I was like, dang, again. I don't know if you guys remember, back in my apartment, my den was so small that I had an extra desk behind me, and I always bump my elbow on it, and I had to pad the corner. Do you remember that? Oh, growth. Look at where we are now. We don't need to pad our corners to our desk anymore. Okay, well, sweet. Well, we'll just see what happens on Friday. It should be around 7 p.m. still. I'll let you guys know for sure. But yeah, I will see you guys then. We're gonna do some magical, cool stuff, and we'll just see where the universe takes us as usual. I just love you guys. Thank you so much. And Anime Girl, it's easy when you have such an incredible community to share such potent things with, I hate my yeah. For real. I had to, and people would always ask about it in my videos, like, what is taped to your desk back there? It's like kind of a long story, but now we have room. Look at this. Free elbows. For the most part, which is great. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for being a part of my community. Again, if you guys haven't checked out my second channel, the Lucid Mystic Sleep Music, I create nightly binaural beat sleep music on there. I'm actually going to be changing things up on that channel. Nothing that you'll really notice, but just how I produce on that channel, and I'm taking on more I'm learning more skills to help me make the channel better, and my third channel. Your support means so much to me. I hope you guys like the music. I really try to provide something different every night. I know that you guys have been liking the deeper delta tones recently, so you'll definitely hear more of that on my channel right now. I really do hope that you guys like the sleep music, and I hope that you love this new channel that is being created. It came through in a dream, and oh, I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I'm trying to just keep it. I haven't even posted about it once. I want there to be 7 videos loaded on there before I even talk about it. That way, you guys have already lots of value on there, and then I'll be posting weekly on there, like a new meditation or a new hypnosis or something related to that to bring you to your most magical self, okay? So yes, I can't wait to launch that and finally tell you guys about it. Anyway, free the elbows. That is right. That is right. That is right. Thank you. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Thank you again for everything. Thank you for being a part of my life. I love you guys so much. I will see you Friday night. Okay. And again, join the Telegram group if you are curious on the times the lives will be. If there's ever any changes with content or when the live streams are or anything, I post in there. So yeah, I will see you guys there. I'll see you Friday, and I will talk to you then. Don't forget to fall asleep in everything that you desire in consciousness and feel it with as much emotion and gratitude as you can, and allow that to be the last thought and feeling on your mind before you fall asleep. Bye.